back. This is Boomer Life on CIL 650.
And welcome back to Boomer Life. I'm Joanne Sutton, and joining me today in studio is Maria Howard, the CEO of the Alzheimer's Society of British Columbia, and we're talking about how important the month of January is. It's Alzheimer's Awareness Month. We'll find out more about what that means and how it relates to our next guest. So I'd like to introduce to you Victoria Schuster. Now, Victoria is a very special person with a great family and a number of special goals. Victoria was raised in Kelowna. She's now a student at Shawnigan Lake School on Vancouver Island. And when Victoria's father was 45, he was diagnosed with early onset dementia, and his experience of the dementia journey has actually inspired Victoria to become an Alzheimer's advocate. So Victoria joins us on the phone today. Hi there.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm well, thanks. How about yourself?
We're excellent. Thanks for asking. Tell us where you are and what you were doing just before we called you.
Well, I am currently at school at Shawnigan Lake School, and I just came from lunch, and now I'm sitting in my room, and yeah.
Oh, so you're boarding there. You live there as well?
Yes.
And are you skipping a class to do this phone call today?
I have permission to skip a class.
Well, I'm glad we've established that. So, Victoria, tell me a little bit more about yourself and maybe a little about your family and growing up in Kelowna.
Oh, just to begin, I'm 16 years old. As I said, I'm in grade 11 here at Shawnigan Lake School, and my dad was diagnosed when I was 11. So I never really stopped to understand the fact that I wasn't alone. And then last year, I summed up enough courage to speak in front of my school, staff, peers, all of them, and share a little piece of my life for which the most part of them didn't know at all. And to sum it up in short, it was about how my dad is my hero, even though he faces these crazy challenges. And I was overwhelmed. I mean, I finally felt like I was comfortable talking to my peers and staff members about what was going on. I even had a conversation with my science teacher later on that day about how his mom has struggled with the same thing. And from then on, I realized how important it is to create awareness about dementia and Alzheimer's.
Oh my gosh, it's like I think you've just touched the hearts of everybody listening to you. We can all relate in some magical way, but it's almost like you were keeping this great big secret and not sharing such a huge part of yourself. Is that how you feel?
At the time it was, yeah. It was almost like I didn't feel like people needed to know, so I didn't tell anyone. And I remember at one of the staff meetings, my advisor actually said to some of the staff, you know, she is facing this challenge and no one realizes it. But I just felt like people didn't know enough about it for me to feel comfortable telling them. So that's why I really took it upon myself to speak up in front of the student body and all the staff and share not only what my experience is, but a little bit more about what the disease actually does and how it's not something I should be embarrassed about.
Absolutely. So you also realized that you weren't alone.
Yeah, mostly. That was the biggest thing. I realized that there's other people around me that are facing the same problems and the same journey. I know even one of my friends who's my age, I was talking to him afterwards and he said, you know, my mom is in the same situation. And it was so comforting almost to know that there's people that I can talk to that actually understand what's happening.
And some of those people are the people from the Alzheimer's Society of BC as well. Did you ever make a connection with them, or how did you ever become connected with the society?
Well, it started off as I decided to try and bring a little bit more awareness, not just to my school, but in general. And I was trying to get pins going around, forget-me-not flower pins, to create a little bit of awareness. And so I actually contacted some of the people at the society asking them if they would like to help, if there's anything that they can do. And they asked me if I could help them with a little bit of their campaign, and they've helped me with what I'm trying to do. And it's been a really incredible experience creating a bit more awareness about dementia and all of its factors. I definitely did go to the website and look at Dementia Friends when this all started, get a little bit more information, and that was extremely useful.
Oh, sounds like a great relationship and the start of one. So tell me, what did you do with the pins and how did you share the information and spread the word at your school?
Well, it all started last year when I did my speech, and all this, obviously there are new students each year. So as far as the pins go, that's actually an ongoing project that will come later on in the month, just because I just got back to school yesterday. So the plan is to have students wear a pin, and each person will pay a certain amount of money, wear a pin, and be able to wear something to school instead of uniform that creates a little bit more awareness. I haven't exactly been set on what that will be, but the idea is that then kids will be able to bring the pins home to their families and give them a little bit more insight and hopefully create a bit of a wave.
It sounds fabulous. I don't think you'll have any problems doing that. It sounds like a marketing genius in her early years. Can you tell me a little bit about your dad?
Well, my dad was diagnosed when I was 11, and realistically, I had absolutely no idea what was going to happen. I didn't realize that some things weren't normal. I mean, I thought that me making my dad a grocery list at age 9 because he wanted help with it was just the normal thing to do. But slowly things began falling into place, and I began noticing that there was something that was a little off. So as things progressed, eventually he was moved into an assisted living facility, and since then he's also been moved to more of a full-on care center. And he has lost a lot of what he could do. I mean, his memory obviously is fading, but also balance, struggle, speech, etc. Now I have to say that I'm very lucky because the people at his facility are wonderful and they treat him incredibly well. But it has been hard, not just for me and my sister and all those around us, but also for him.
So what do you think is important for people to do if they want to become more educated or more empathetic or more understanding about Alzheimer's disease and dementia?
For everyone, especially those who aren't personally attached to the disease, I can say that learning a little bit is the only way you can start. I mean, become a dementia friend, learn about the symptoms, understand that it's not a normal part of aging, and there's certain things you can watch for. I mean, for me, just having people understand what my dad was doing or how my dad was reacting, and the fact that that was my normal was all that mattered. I mean, it may not have been normal for them, but it was normal for me. And knowing that I could talk to people who knew a little bit about the disease was extremely supporting. And I know for my dad, having people that he could talk to because they felt like they had learned a little bit, had understood a little bit what he was going through, was really what made the big difference and continues to.
Wow, it's extremely powerful. I think I've learned more from Victoria in 5 short minutes than I have in months of research. I think you're quite a special girl. I'm just trying to picture with your family in Kelowna and you're in Shawnigan Lake on Vancouver Island, what do you use for a support network while you're away from your home?
Well, for me, when I'm away from home, being able to call my dad and talk to him is always something that's extremely important. And that goes not just for him, but for all my family. I mean, whenever I'm in a rough place, it's always nice to be able to call my sister. But there's also an extremely supportive group of people at the school that I can always talk to, my friends, my roommate, for example, that I know I can always have to help me up if I'm feeling down.
Sounds great. So any final words for Alzheimer's Awareness Month for us? What can you leave us with, the thought of the day?
Well, the only thought that I could have is to thank you and anyone listening, because without you and all those listening at home, we wouldn't be able to get anywhere with this month. It's all about the people who are trying to get involved, listen, learn, become a dementia friend. Those are the people that are going to start this big ripple.
I look forward to meeting you one day, Victoria Schuster.
You too. I look forward to meeting all of you.
All the best in 2016. I think we should get Victoria to spearhead a walk in her community in Shawnigan Lake.
That'd be a great idea.
Is that a great idea?
I love that.
Hey, Victoria, maybe we can talk to you about that.
That sounds like a good idea.
It's a program for May. Well, good luck with your Forget-Me-Not pins and all that you're doing as an advocate for Alzheimer's disease. Thanks very much for sharing your story today.
Thank you. Same to all of you.
So up next, we will continue the conversation about dementia-friendly communities and what it means to be a dementia friend. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.